Have you guys been on any dating apps?
And
if it has worked out?
I was told
Eh.
that someone was catfishing people with my photos. Hey. Like this was a talking stage. This was in 2020.
What the
Two. Hey. We don't even fight. We look like we're okay. We're always dancing on TikTok. Nini. But before you dance, more often than not, what people don't realize is maybe you fought. You fought because this guy has a meeting in the next hour. She's finished her meetings for the day. She wants to make the TikToks now. And the guy will have to sacrifice. There'll be a push and pull and whatnot. She'll... Hey, we'll turn against you.
So it's better just pick one. Was this coordinated?
I know. That's why you make her on the back side.
Hapo si nyuma. Ama ni nyuma ya kamera. Fair enough. Hi guys, welcome back to More to Follow podcast. This is our fifth episode.
What?
Hey, sixth. God, just
Tumuulize ile swali ama.
Uliza.
Junika leo asubuhi.
It's a very good day. Like Owen said, nimeamka vizuri leo, niko na psych. And I'm happy to be recording this again. 4-5 episodes in. I mean, this has been amazing. This is the sixth episode. So we're doing good for season 4. We're doing really good. I will let my co-hosts introduce themselves, starting on my right this time. You're not my right. You're not my right. You're not my right. On my left.
To your left?
Yes.
I was just like,
my math.
Yeah? Owen is the name, hasn't changed.
Oh.
Koitalel.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the point is just to mention these names and then guys figure it out.
Yeah,
Figure
it out. He was called Koitalel Arab Samoei.
Yes.
And that's who you are for this episode.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He was a warrior from those sides.
Okay.
So now we have a Kipchirchir Arab Samoei who...
To kickstart this episode, I want to ask, are you guys single? I'm asking for the masses. I'm asking for the masses.
Unajua, when they were doing elections for the chairmanship of the estate, guys were being told you either say you're single or you're married. Because when you tick the government box, it is either you tick single or you tick married. So I said, I'm not married.
But you're not single.
But I'm not single. Yeah.
Finally, niko single kiasi. No, I'm single. I'm alone. I know, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, we kickstarted this podcast on where it is they thought my sexual orientation was. Yeah, it's 3 years ago. So, hey, man.
Oh yeah, by the way, you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Na mimi nilikuwa na filanda around.
So, no.
Back when?
Bro,
Back when?
It was a problem.
I started by asking that because I want to know what's the wildest...
Sorry, let me put this clearly. I have one wife.
The Lucy Kibaki thing was wild, but go on, Corey.
Yeah.
What's the wildest advice you've received about dating?
My Lord.
We're supposed to keep this GE, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. We are a GE podcast.
You've been told wild things by our friends.
What's that? Shout out to those friends. Atuwataji for now. Shout out to those friends.
I'm trying to think of mine.
In this if you're ever caught in a precarious situation by your significant other, this is the advice I was given.
Oh, okay.
There's that old deny. It's like, no, this guy was like, you beat this other person. Because they're a stranger in the relationship. Yeah. You say, who are you?
What are you saying?
What are you doing? Hey.
Even when there's evidence. No, like,
Even when there's evidence,
hey.
that's a stranger. So,
Who are your friends? Who are your friends?
The best form of defense is attack.
exactly.
What
That is it.
advice have you
That is it.
The best form of defense
The best form of defense is attack.
is attack.
application would be?
Aye. When someone brings a machete, you bring a bazooka.
Yeah.
Do with that what you will.
Or a Swiss knife.
Yeah.
Given who I am,
First, you not even told us if you're single, kiasi, or you're dating,
see,
you're
we just
married.
like we're on the other question.
Hey.
I
It's
also
just hit me.
okay.
that
What do you
we
mean you're
kept on-
good? Madam.
It's just hit me. You remember how we used to keep on saying Konene has a bun in the oven and now her absence. It's just hit me that could people be thinking, well, stay tuned and find out.
By the way, more to follow. Tunaweza kuwa watano hapa na tusemangi.
Speaking of which, hi Konene, we've missed you. We've missed you, and I'm sure our audience has also missed you.
Konene is not single.
She's heavily taken.
Yes, she is. I am also single. I'm also single.
Kuna watu pale leo wanalia.
Wildest advice I've
Say it
received.
again, properly.
Say it again. Why are you not saying it to your chest?
The
You're so
wildest
saying-
advice I've received.
Are you single or are you in a
Yaani kumbe-
relationship?
Kore kumbe you're a bad man outside here.
Mi niko sawa. Sawa. Niko sawa.
Hatukatai.
Niko sawa. That's the best answer to that question.
The question is it yes or no? No, maybe. No. Are you single?
Yes, I am single.
Okay.
Wildest advice would be...
She's texting the person say, I'm sorry. Sorry. Wildest advice?
Which I don't know if it works. To move on from your ex, you
Oh. Okay.
move on to the next.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
That's not the advice you're given. But
That's-
that's the...
That's
Yes.
the best way I can say it, yes.
That one we're going to be quoting you.
Yeah. Kwanza kama cheers.
Hey.
Anyways,
Move on to the next.
what do you have for us today?
I want us to talk about dating and what
Cheers to
modern
you.
dating
Cheers
is.
to me.
Oh, why?
To move on from your ex, move on to the next.
Do you think it works?
It does.
And it's just like today.
No.
Location
The
you go-
toast. The toast works.
The toast
That advice
works.
is horrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible advice.
But apparently it works for them.
It's
They've
okay.
been moving for a while.
That's a lack of accountability. Go back to the next episode and then listen about...
What was I going to say? We're talking
Victim
about
culture.
modern dating. Have you guys been on any dating apps? And if it has worked out?
I was told
Eh.
that someone was catfishing people with my photos. Hey. Like this was a talking stage. This was in 2020.
What the
Two. Hey. So what happened was on my Twitter, I used to do this thing where for like 90 days, I took up the challenge of making my bed. So
yes.
I'll put a picture, like I'll take a picture every morning, maybe a selfie or a picture of me working or a picture of me in the gym or something. So turns out someone was just taking that information and creating a profile somewhere.
Is he here 90 days ulifanya last day ikianza?
No, 2022 ikianza.
Oh, no. Oh,
Eh,
sorry.
ilikuwa after a heartbreak.
Oh, yes, I've remembered.
Eh,
Yes.
eh. Sasa, I met this person the next year in like April. And they're like, no, my friend saw you on Hinge. I was like,
Hinge works in Kenya? I don't think it does.
I wouldn't know.
I had a friend who came in recently and was like, why isn't Hinge working in Kenya?
Sasa,
Oh, this is you can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this
Sasa ni picha zangu ziko huko nje. Sasa shangaa.
you can't make this
But that
stuff up.
happens a lot. So have you been on any intentional?
I didn't,
His photos have been. He's not been. His photos have
I
been.
didn't make the effort to go and find out because I made the commitment never to be on a dating app.
Okay.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Why so?
Go outside and meet people. Get rejected, start again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Owen?
Never been on a dating site. Makes no sense to me. It takes away human interaction. If I'm meeting someone, I want to meet you in your entirety. I want to see. I don't want to meet you over the phone.
So where do you meet people?
What do you mean? I'm a functional human being. All so many places. How did I meet you?
It was organic, by the way.
Just that simple.
Okay, I just also
We saw a
realized.
poster for an event. We came to the event. The event person was cool. We invited the event person over. Friendship 1 year on.
I don't know if my mic dropped when I was speaking after.
Oh, you want to drop the mic?
It did. It was on my lap.
Oh,
Did it?
the mic
Did
is
it
feeling a
affect?
bit toasty.
No,
It was good.
continue.
Oh.
Just continue.
I did
Alisema
try.
guza ya mki.
I did try. At
Guza
least
guza.
not a dating app, but I don't know. Bumble can also work for both dating and also making friends.
Really?
Making friends is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really,
like
I'm
if you just want
wondering.
to talk to another girl and then talk to someone about your day.
Talk
you
to
make
another
new
girl.
friends.
Isn't that what
Yes.
social media is there for?
Yeah,
Like
making
the normal
friends.
apps.
that's
You
not
can also make friends.
You're talking to another girl. How on the other side? I don't think that's the
Okay,
same.
there's two options. You can either choose you're looking for a date or you're making friends. That's a filter on its
You
own.
can clearly
So
tell
you've
me
been on
a lot of
Bumble?
these apps. I don't
Yes,
even
I
know.
have been.
Oh, okay.
But then none of them stick long enough to actually manage a conversation, at least on my end. I do think it works. I mean, we talk about modern dating and
Unaenda
getting to
kutafuta
know
depth
people.
kwa dating app.
Kwa app.
Unatafuta depth kwa dating app.
Si ni mtu bado unaongea na yeye.
unataka
You're
kufanya-
still talking to people.
Okay, fine.
You're
Go
still
on.
talking to people.
It's a hit or miss, by the way. Unaweza pata, unaweza kosa.
I want to know whether you guys have been ghosted or have actually ghosted someone.
Corilla amesema she wants to start problems.
And nimeona tunakuja kufinga.
Have I been ghosted before? What are we defining as ghosting? Like this person just stopped talking and
like-
didn't say they were going.
Yes. And they didn't say, I'm no longer talking to you. And it was intentional as well. Although, yeah.
Okay. So how do you realize? Like, unamtumia message WhatsApp, it's one blue tick.
There's also that, yeah.
Yeah, then
Or
I
you
think I
reach
have.
out, they don't
And
respond.
then there's
And you've never heard from them again.
okay. Mi niliblock you, ah. Yeah.
No.
That's when I found out like this person had the over me and they just left. Okay, there've been a couple of those. Yeah.
The funniest thing is, I remember I was having this conversation in 2020 and I was telling people I've never been ghosted. No sooner than I was ghosted 3 times in the same month.
I want to know what implications you feel like social media has, even in how we date, in how we handle communication, thus mambo ya ghosting. And even when it comes to advice. I mean, tell me about the number of relationship advice you get online telling you what to do, what not to do. There's just so much to rules nowadays. I'm wondering, is it any easier for people who are dating online, for you choosing to share about your relationship online as well? And the information you give people
Wacha anze,
about your
mimi nawaka moto.
relationship.
Same. I think for me, I'm very intentional on putting
Yes.
my relationship online. That's why it's going to be
Romantic relationship.
yeah, my romantic relationship. The one I mean, before I did. And primarily because I want to protect that space. There's too many people who have an opinion, like we said in the previous episode. So even when you make a mistake, it's so crazy. In a previous relationship, 3 years after it had ended, because it was so public and everybody knew about it and everybody knew the fall off and
the why.
And the why. Okay, they didn't know the full story. They just knew at the end. It's like, this guy cheated. That's all they know. But they didn't know, not to excuse the cheating, but they didn't know everything that happened before. And 3 years on, this person comes and they're like, first of all, they were talking to my boss. And they were like, RJ is good at the thing, but he's a bad person. Because
What?
Yeah.
And this is information she's feeding your boss.
This is 3 years on. So because of that, I don't put my relationship online. I don't want it to be online.
Your boss, this is after you moved.
Bro.
Because this is not where we used to be together. This is after you moved.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know. I told you. I'm
So
buying a
it
pistol.
was a point of concern,
That's insane.
So that's one space that I'm very curious to protect. If somebody comes and asks me, are you single? Are you in a relationship? I'll respond. But yeah, because of those experiences, and that's just one of them,
Yeah.
I'm cognizant not to put my information out as much. I personally feel social media has also, depending on the type of social media that you consume, we have a group, me, him, and our boy Kimotho. It's called What the Fuck.
Yeah.
The kind of content we put there, you just are like, what the
is
fuck?
this?
Yeah. It's
Genuinely, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But even in terms of like relationship content, what are you consuming? Because that now tends to infer the kind of expectations that you put on an unsuspecting person. And I think social media has accelerated things because you want to start your story at the end.
And document.
And
as well.
document it as well and because as we document for posterity purposes, because 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe we have a young one who wants to see where the story started. They want to see how they became a product of love, and that in that moment, that's why we're doing it. We're not doing it so that we show Susan, who lives in Greenspan Estate, that relationships work. That's not the style. So because there's so much consumption and it's consumed at a point without context around it, it builds on so many expectations. You think of Valentine's and how so many people want bouquets of flowers. You've never received a flower in your life. The first time you saw someone receiving a flower was in campus. This is not a need you thought that you had, and now you want it. And you're putting these expectations on somebody. The financial expectations, and you want to rush to the very end. And I think it's chipping away from the journeys. It's chipping away from the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. Too many people want the comfortable thing of, we don't even fight, we look like we're okay, we're always dancing on TikTok, nini. But before you dance, more often than not, what people don't realize is maybe you fought because this guy has a meeting in the next hour. She's finished her meetings for the day. She wants to make the TikToks now. And the guy will have to sacrifice. There'll be a push and pull and whatnot. She'll...
Sorry.
You guys, somebody has to compromise, somebody has to sacrifice. That's another thing, sacrifice. And then they record the TikTok, it goes viral, and then Susan from Greenspan is going to look at it and be like, look at Moses and be like, Mose, to fanya hii TikTok, Mose has never danced a day in his life.
He's like,
Shout out to Mose. He's
Shout
our
out to Mose
production
behind the camera.
manager.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's never danced a day in his life, and now all of a sudden there's all these expectations and whatnot.
And now Mose is apparently a bad boyfriend.
Exactly. He doesn't attend to my needs. You start hearing words, he's narcissistic, gaslighting me and things like those ones, and you're like, you guys need to slow down.
gosh, Kwanza, I like
Pick
how
a
the
book
fact
and read.
people are quick to call if you're being misogynistic, you're being chauvinistic, you are emotionally, we have all the times, but then they're constantly being pointed out, you're just wondering at what point do I breathe? At what point am I able to make a mistake and then we can actually go back to the bandwagon? Excuse me. You were saying when?
I've had to take off my sunglasses.
Let us see you.
Remind me of your question because I've thought about 10 million things. just kind of.
First one was how does social media what is social media? How has social media affected or impacted the relationships that exist now?
In so many ways. One, I'll borrow from our previous episodes. So go check. Go listen to our previous. Go watch our previous episodes. He mentioned one thing: the hyper individualism, the selfishness, and existing in your own head. When you add that human nature and then now add social media to it, people forget that a huge chunk of social media isn't what is real. It's crafted. A huge chunk of it is crafted, scripted. It's painted. Because let me use a very simple example. When Bien and Chiki spoke about their relationship, it was this upheaval and everyone was, yeah. No one said anyone had cheated on anyone. Them, they were fine. They spoke about the cogs in their relationship. Now, that's one way to look at it. And I can understand why he decides his person is not a secret. His life is private. There's a difference. Now, how does social media...
I like that, yeah. Your person is not...
Nuggets of wisdom, I need to think.
Your person is not a secret, but your life is private.
Yeah.
Because now, let me... And I don't post much. Most of the people say I'm a bot. If it wasn't for the podcast, I think
You'd
have
not
withered
exist
away.
online.
I think I'd have withered away. When you find someone coming to your boss, your place of work, to do stupid things like this, mundanely stupid, and if you're the person who did this, you're an idiot. Mundanely stupid things like this. Oh, sorry.
Hey,
passionate. Sorry. Like, if you're the person who's doing mundanely stupid things like this, like, just know you need to grow. Now, back to social media. You find, like I said, the hyper-individualism, the selfishness, or the existing in oneself. It becomes, and most relationships these days have become about, in my opinion, what I need to receive rather than where we need to go. It's a lot of eyes. Social media really pours a lot into that. For example, he mentioned Valentine's. I have so many things that I like to say. It's very few couples that I was seeing posting one another, it being about a day of love. Most of the shorties were posting what they received.
What they?
Received.
As I was checking, yes, you have gotten... It's very few people I saw posting their significant others. So it's social media, people, especially with love, people have used social media to get this air of making things that they should be a certain type of way. You've also spoken about content. The other thing for me, a struggle with social media is everyone is a relationship expert. I always hear a lot of he should, she should, it should be like
this.
This.
Should is such a big word, but yeah.
It's a relationship between two people. What do you mean it should? It's okay, if they decide they want to sleep on the floor, if they're shagging outside, that's their business. You understand? So social media sets a certain expectation, a certain weight, a certain need that allows you to not... You're thinking more about the destination rather than the journey. Relationships, love is all about the journey. Why? You never enjoy beauty without
at
ugly.
a point, the way I was
Yes.
saying.
Nothing exists in a frame. And you always call me the waiting gray man. Nothing exists just in an idiosyncratic kind of way, like just singly or alone. No. All right? Social media has this layer of we should be doing, we ought to, we need to. This is how people are. I keep on saying, what do you call it? Comparison is a thief of joy. That's my biggest issue with social media when it comes to dating. But nonetheless, I am not against you putting your life out there. I'm not against you enjoying yourself. Social media is also personal. Do with it whatever you'd like to do with it. It's your account. But it's when now you take that, like He
And
mentioned.
burden the expectations
and
on
put the
somebody else.
expectation. You have a lot of right now. Let me use the Kenyan market. Let me use the experience you had. We were all soon turning over to 30, right? Soon. Yeah,
We're almost there.
Yeah, almost
You're
there.
almost there,
Eh,
boy.
we are almost there. By the end of this year, we'll be in our late 20s.
You have an
So
even
We'll be-
age.
we will be in our late 20s.
You have an even age. I was still old, boy.
Not for long.
You had your age mate Konene. Shout out Konene.
Yeah. Konene was even long ago. Yeah. So, what was I saying? So you find that a lot of people want an already established situation, established in whatever sense, mentally, physically, emotionally. A lot of people talk about when on social media, I like this thing where I deserve, this is what I need, I'm a girl, I'm a dude, this is exactly, this is what I should be given. There's this conversation that really was famous when some guys, it's a podcast, they had a live show. The lady was asking, you're talking about wanting an emotionally secure man. Are you emotionally secure?
Yeah.
Those are the conversations that we don't have enough of. So that for me is how social media, it heavily has affected how we date or modern dating.
Because I know we're not love experts. I can't ask you, how do you think people should navigate?
Who is a love
Who is a
expert?
love expert?
Well, they exist.
They self-proclaim themselves. There's no love
Nobody
expert.
ground them.
Okay. And
Do you
there's
go
no
to study?
certificate
Yeah, do
saying
you
yes,
study love?
you know.
Yeah. Are there a set of rules, expectations fall out? No.
Fair enough. How do you navigate your romantic relationships in the presence of social media, where social media exists? How do you?
Okay.
He's mentioned how he does it. How do you?
I've had a similar relationship. My friends used to call me a serial dater, like I've been dating for so long. I've had a similar relationship where it ended. Okay, mine wasn't anything as nasty as his. I'm also for the keep it private. A lot of people might tend to think it's because I have things to hide.
Pause.
Uh-huh.
When you're talking, kuna kitu iliingia kwa akili.
Yeah.
Nataka niongee nitoki.
Ongea kutoka.
Hii stuff ya expectations.
Exactly. We'll come there. Don't actually
Size.
talk, man.
Like I realized, and I only clocked it when we were in this space. I happened to be in a space where this person wanted to go on dates.
Hey.
Not because they wanted to know what I'm about or have conversations with me or engage me on things. It's because they saw it on Murugi Muni's. Shout out to Murugi Muni.
Is this who I think this is?
It is. They saw it on this influencer, that influencer.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do it. And they wanted to do it with me. And that's like that burdening of expectations.
It's just the same way with flowers.
Takes it all.
I don't even think, in my experience, I don't even think a lot of women love flowers. They like the idea of flowers.
Oh, flowers, that's true.
Because if I ask you, why do you like flowers? It smells nice. Okay, so what does flowers smell like? What flowers do you like? I love flowers. I appreciate what flowers represent. I appreciate the idea. I'm around them a whole lot. From a business point of view, I like picking flowers. It takes, that's what I'm saying, social media helps people focus on their destination. It takes away the journey. And that's what the love is about.
If I'm being honest, I am a victim of this particular situation with my last relationship.
Which one?
Ulikuwa unaekelewa watu expectation?
I didn't realize it then,
Oh.
Hey.
but by the time I was getting to it,
Ongea kutoke.
level
Sorry. Look across. Look.
I've seen that.
Have you seen? It's so interesting. Sorry for the people who
For everyone who's not here with us.
who's not here with us. It's just that there's somebody across the room who's walked in with a bouquet of flowers. It was so interesting.
coincidence.
Coincidence? And
Coinkydink.
I was on stage 7 by the time they were getting to level 1. I think I
I was
was.
like, which stages are these? I was like,
How many
It's just
levels
that-
in each stage?
No, it's not even. It means I was very much ahead of a relationship even before it started. I had expectations. I did want to go on dates. I am not sure. I think it got to a point where I was going on dates to try out new places and not necessarily
Talk to
to
this
spend.
person.
Yes, because if that was the case, then the place we went to wouldn't have mattered.
Exactly.
Hey, mtatoa nguo sasa.
You know what that is?
No,
Taking accountability.
I'm learning.
Well done.
Because
I'm
well done.
learning.
You see, the thing is, and you asked me how to navigate. Simply, it's communication. I'm also for keeping it private, but understanding between the two. That's why I don't like the word should. I really hate the word should. If you're talking to your person saying, I want us to go on this date to try out a place.
No, it's just again, it's a situation that passed. I wish I knew it then.
It is fine.
that
Like
was it.
if you guys are agreeing that we're going out on dates for the purpose of trying a restaurant, that's different.
That's a different thing, Joe.
That's what you guys are doing. But if you're talking about the intimacy of dates, and then you're talking about you're basing the importance you should give me based on where I take you
And how much you're spending.
and how much I'm spending,
and
you see-
everything around it.
But then this date, it's fascinating. This date thing is usually such a huge topic
What if
everywhere.
The thing is, I've seen it on Murigi's channel. I want to go,
Yeah,
and I want to go with you.
and that's okay.
Then
That is
come and
fine.
communicate and tell me, hey, babe, I've seen this place. I would like to go. I would like to go with you.
Yeah.
And
Don't
I
come
want
and
you
tell
to
me.
pay as well.
Don't come and tell me I want us to go on a date here. Because the expectations become very different. I also get excited because maybe I understand that you enjoy exploring new spaces. You see? As opposed to a scenario whereby, it's as a consequence of just being easily influenced. That's a different conversation to have.
Like it's okay for you to want. For me, the issue we're talking about is now that we've used dates to further this conversation. When you want to go to a place, talk about going to the place, right? Talk about that particular date. It's when you get disappointed from the expectations you set from that particular date, and that becomes a summation of our entire dating experience. That's why I have an issue. So it's not dating me, it's dating the place. And I keep on saying it. So it's not about who I am, it's about where I took you.
And what I did for you. That same guy who told me that when told when the best form of attack is the best form of defense is attack, also had this policy. If you want me to buy you a bouquet of flowers, then so like that bouquet, spell the word chrysanthemums. If you can spell it correctly, then
I will get you.
I'll get you the bouquet.
See,
Because then why do you want?
I personally don't like flowers.
and it
like I
makes-
don't mind them, but I don't like
and it makes relationships heavily transactional. So now I'll be thinking about, it's not even the experience.
What am I
it's
getting in
giving you,
return?
I show up, cool. You're fine? Yeah, cool. Then you'll be like, you are bland during the date. You are not talking during the date wasn't about.
Me or you?
Yeah. So I'm not saying that you cannot come.
I feel like there's so much more.
Yeah, I'm
we
not
can
saying
address.
that. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm saying it's the intention that you prescribe to it. It's the communication and the expectation that you leave out.
Okay.
I feel like we should come back next week and continue this episode.
Because even if I'm to wrap up, how do we wrap up this conversation? Because I just feel like poking even further into
You know
this
what?
discussion.
With that said, due to special request from the lady who's single Kiasi,
Tunarudi next
more
week.
to follow.
And also thanks to the guys who've been telling me about the live show. I appreciate your feedback. Keep it coming so that we see how we can build this experience so that it's not just us. It becomes a communal experience. Also involves you guys.
All right.
See you next week.
There
next
is
week.
more to follow. Bye.